I was born ready versus the son of a legend, Chavez Jr. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Quick video. Now, Julio Cesar Chavez, he has his own fight coming up. I did a video about it against Dominic Brich. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. He's fighting in Mexico. He says Freddie Roach will be his trainer. Now, he did an interview with ESPN saying that he wants to fight none other than Saul. I was born ready, Canelo Alvarez. And he says that he can make 164. That's what he's willing to budge for Canelo. And he said it would be a fight for the people, for the Mexican public. I imagine they want to see it. I do not know if there's a lot of interest, but I think it might be attractive. And on the weight, I think it would have to be negotiated. I can make 164 for Canelo. So that's what he's saying. I think a lot has changed. See, if you're a longtime boxing fan like myself, you'll remember these guys were coming up right around the same time, and especially in Hispanic circles, but there was a lot of people who were kind of arguing with each other on who is the better of the two, because they were kind of, like I said, going through the ranks and getting a lot of attention and spotlight and exposure around the same time. So it was like a dream fight everybody was kind of craving in the boxing world, me included. I was like, you know what I mean? I had my doubts about Canelo because they were moving him along slow. He was fighting Kermit Cintron, and 40-year-old Baldemir was like 40, 41. Shane Mosley was like 40, fighting smaller guys like Josecito Lopez, and then Chavez Jr. You know what I mean? So there was doubts, but as it turns out, we clearly know who has had the better career this far. Canelo, since Austin Trout, has been full steam ahead, and he's faced good names like Floyd Mayweather, Edeslandi Lara, James Kirkland. Khan is a name, but you know, obviously there's a weight deficit, things of that sort. And then Chavez Jr.'s kind of fell off since the Sergio Maravilla loss. And I mean, I would entertain it at this point in boxing. There's a lot of great action coming up in the near future. Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, things like that. So, hell, I mean, if they're not going to make Canelo versus Triple G and stuff like that, I would settle for Triple G or Canelo fighting a guy like Chavez Jr. Now, is it the most meaningful fight? Absolutely not. I would never say that Chavez versus Canelo is the most meaningful fight, but Canelo would be moving up in weight and finally fighting someone who's probably a lot bigger than him. Chavez is like 6 feet. Canelo's pretty big though. He rehydrates. He's weighing right around what Golovkin weighs at his 30-day weigh-in, if not more. You know what I mean? So it would be, I don't mind so much fights that are meaningful for financial reasons, like they would be big events, because big events also help in boxing. Now, we've seen their brothers, Omar Chavez, I think it was, and Canelo's brother, I think it was Ramon Alvarez, they fought each other and to see who's like kind of the best and that kind of thing. But this would clearly be a lot bigger, even though different things. Canelo's not necessarily in the fans' favorite because of how he vacated the belt. Chavez Jr. got stopped by Fonfara, lost to Maravilla for 11 rounds, things like that. But it would still be an earner. I don't care what anyone says. I think it would make a lot of money. And then same thing with Golovkin. I'm just anxious to see someone with some type of advantage. Chavez Jr., he has a chin and he's big and he has a name. So, you know what I mean? It would be, to me, seeing Golovkin versus Chavez Jr., even at this point, would still be better than Adama or a guy moving up from 54 like Gabe Rosado, Ishida, a guy like Dominic Wade who no one really knows. You know what I mean? Because at the very least, they would be, you know, Chavez has a chin and it would be a bigger name. You know what I mean? So that's my thoughts. I don't know that Chavez can comfortably make 164, but that's what he's saying. I looked at the pictures of him and his current opponent, Dominic, and he looked like he's in solid shape. He seems to be training year-round. So if Oscar De La Hoya can get with Chavez Jr.'s advisor, Al Heyman, and work something out, I don't know. There might be some bad blood there, especially since Top Rank seems to be working with Arum seems to be working with Al Heyman now. So I don't know if it could be made, but if they're willing to make it for boxing, I think it would be a fight, especially in, like Chavez Jr. says, with the Mexican public. He thinks it'll make noise. You know what I mean? Because even when their brothers fought, it made some noise. There's always going to be those like, I'm not putting this on the same landscape as Eric Morales, but Eric Morales versus Marco Antonio Barrera, there was like some bad blood, and depending on where you were in Mexico, where you're from, you know what I mean, you might be riding with Barrera, you might be riding with Morales, you know what I mean, or Morales versus, or not Morales, Barrera versus a guy like Marquez, things like that, you know what I mean. People pick sides and like, oh, I'm from Tijuana, I'm from here, you know what I'm saying, I'm from Mexico City, so you just pick who you want. Canelo being from Guadalajara and Chavez Jr. being from, I don't know what part, maybe Mexico City. I'd have to look it up. I don't know exactly where he was born, but I don't know. I would settle for it. You guys let me know what you think at 164. If Chavez Jr., he's seen this the other thing. He didn't look great versus Marco Reyes, who's trained by Nacho Beristain in his last fight. Then he's been out for probably over a year at this point. So I got to really see how he looks against Dominic Brich in Mexico. They're fighting in Monterrey, Mexico. But he has to look pretty good, you know what I mean? Because Dominic Brich already has a loss, you know what I mean? But if he looks like he did, like Chavez Jr., my favorite Chavez Jr. performance was probably the Andy Lee fight. And if he looks something like that, then I think the Canelo fight could be pretty big. And again, it doesn't look like Canelo and team are in a real huge rush to fight Golovkin. So, you know what I mean? And there is some of it that goes to Golovkin's side too. But for whatever reason, it doesn't look like the fight is happening next. So if I would prefer that instead of Canelo fighting Liam Smith, I would rather see him fight big-ass Chavez at 164. That's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Drop it in the comment section. Would this be big for boxing? Would it be big for Mexico and boxing in Mexico? Drop it in the comment section, share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.